Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how easy it is to cut your own hair at home. Given that most of the world is in lockdown at the moment, I thought it might be timely to show you guys how I cut my hair at home, and I actually needed a haircut, so it was good timing. So all I'm doing here is sectioning my hair and parting it right down the center all the way from the front to the back. I find this process so much easier if I start with dry, poker straight hair because you can really see what you're doing. And then I'm just using a hair tie to tie up one side and pretty much just keep that out of the way for now. And then I'm grabbing a comb and sectioning the first side. So what I'm doing is just basically bringing a section down behind my ear. Then I'm just using another hair tie to keep that section together. And then this next step is quite important. So this is what you don't want to do. No, you don't want to pull that front section all the way to the front. You want to pull it to your shoulder. So just keep it to the side as it would sort of naturally fall, and then use a hair tie to keep that one together as well. My hair is so fine, it takes a lot of wrapping to get the hair tie secure. And then once the hair tie is nice and firmly in place, you want to just pull that down to give you a little bit of an idea of where you want to start cutting. And when you are pulling that hair tie down, make sure you pull it to your shoulder and not towards the front of you. So just pull that down. Yes, it will go a little bit sort of strange when you don't have any tension on that section, but that's okay. It just means that you're not going to end up with a wonky haircut. This is also what you don't want to do. You don't want to cut across bluntly because you will end up really struggling to get an even cut. Instead, I just use the points of the scissors to point cut the hair. Now, I'm not a professional hairdresser, I think that's probably obvious, but I have been cutting my hair like this for a number of years, and I just find it's far more forgiving and you're not left with any uneven ledges. What you can also do is fan out that little end and just really get in there with the points of the scissors and cut away just to break it up so that you're just not left with a hard line. And then it's time for the next section of hair, and I just break this in two. If you've got thicker hair, you're going to have to create some more sections, but as I said, my hair's fairly fine, so for me 3 sections each side is enough. I'm just using a hair tie to get that back section out of the way, and then I'll use another hair tie to pull together this middle section. And as you can see, I'm not being too precise about it. I think that's the good thing about using this point cutting method. It just means that you don't have to be so absolutely precise about your sections. So again, I'm just pulling this second section down to approximately where the hair tie is on the first section. I want to cut off about the same amount beneath the hair tie, which was about 2 centimeters or an inch. So the hair tie just acts as a bit of a guide. And then as you can see here, I'm just fanning that little tail end out to make it easier. And I know that I can just sort of roughly chop into there because I am trying to cut about an inch off. And then it's time for that back section. So again, I'm just pulling the hair tie down to really measure up to where the middle hair tie is. And you can kind of see why doing this with straight hair is so much easier than trying to do this with wavy or curly hair. Obviously, having longer hair really helps when it comes to cutting your hair this way, but you still can cut it this way if your hair's shorter. You'll just need to rely on the mirror more, whereas I can just hold up my ends and see exactly what I'm doing. But still use the same method if your hair is shorter, but just use a mirror to see where you need to cut. And then basically it's time to start on the other side, and just be sure that you leave the hair ties in place on the first side, because they're going to help you measure up and make sure that the second side is even. So you're just repeating the process here of what you did on the first side and sectioning your hair. And as I said earlier, if you have got thicker hair, you will have to create some more sections just to make the whole process easier. But for me, I find 3 sections are enough. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just pulling the hair tie down to meet up to where the hair tie is on the other side, so that I make sure that I cut the same amount off each side, if that makes sense. So you can see here the difference from one side to the other, and if you like, you can put them close together and use the shorter side as a guide. That's my son sitting on the couch over there watching me while I'm cutting my hair. It's not the first time he's seen me do this, but he is in lockdown like me, so he gets to see his mum doing all these kinds of fun things at the moment. But yeah, as you can see, you can really just measure it up to the other side. I needed to cut a little bit more to even things up a bit, but it just makes it so much easier. So you've sort of got a template on one side that you can easily follow. Yep, and that's pretty satisfying when you see that they're basically the same length. So this is what I mean by using one section as a bit of a guide. I've just put both of them together and I'm chopping into them. And this is actually a good way of making sure that they are both the same length as well. If you guys are enjoying this video and you would like to see how I colour my hair at home, then just leave the word colour in the comments below and I will get to it and film a how I colour my hair at home video for you guys to check out. Also, I'd love to know, what is your one saving grace that you're doing each day to get through this crazy isolation lockdown period. Here in New Zealand, we are in a full lockdown, so everything except essential services are closed and we are all pretty much stuck indoors for most of the day. We can do a little bit of exercise and get outside, but that's about it. So I'd love to know what you guys are doing each day to stay sane. So please tell me your tips and tricks in the comments below. And as you can see here, I'm up to the third section and I'm just pulling that through just to make sure that the hair ties are in the same spot. And it does kind of look like I'm cutting across the hair, but I'm not. I think it's just a weird camera angle. I'm actually chopping into the hair with the points of the scissors and just using the first section as a bit of a guide. Yep, this angle shows it much better. So yeah, I'm just fanning out the section and chopping into it. It's actually really satisfying. Whoop, better watch what I'm doing. Now I'm just pulling the same sections to the front and measuring up and making sure that I've cut off the same amount below the hair tie. So you can see here that, yep, that one is good. That one looks pretty good too. I'm thinking about it, but yes, it's looking good. And then it's time to take out the hair ties and I just give my hair a bit of a quick brush as well. And now I'm measuring up to cut a little bit around my face just to sort of give it a little bit of layering and just frame my face a little bit. I always like to be able to have the front sections long enough so that I can put my hair back in a ponytail, and I know that sort of that much beneath my chin will mean that it will all still fit back into a ponytail. So all I'm doing here is just sort of cutting the edge off and just cutting down on the diagonal, but still trying to use the points of the scissors because I don't want a hard line. And then I just use that first section of where I've cut from as a guide, so I know that I don't go above that, and do the same thing on the other side. As you can see, I just really eyeball it and start sort of chopping in and make sure that I try and cut in on the same angle as the other side. And then that's it. It's really simple, and it's just made my hair a whole lot healthier. I've got rid of a whole lot of dead split ends and just taken a couple of centimeters off the ends, and it's not a hard edge, it's just slightly layered but a lot healthier than when I started. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love you to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and in the meantime, stay safe and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh,